Namaste. Welcome to our regular English class, my dear students. How you are doing? I hope you all are having great times there. So, this is grade 6, unit 5, and today we are going to learn an interesting ways of developing a story. So, are you all ready to begin our lesson? I hope you are all ready there. Yes, let's get ready with your textbook, your notebook, pen or pencil. Okay, hope all of you are ready now. But before we begin our lesson today, let us have a little recap about our previous lesson. What did we do last time? Well, very good. We discussed in our previous session about the use of conditional second. Can you recap for a short time? Of course, yes. We firstly recap a bit about the lesson that we discussed in our previous class and start our lesson for today. Let's see what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to rewrite the given sentence as in the example. Let's see the example, everyone. I don't live with my parents, so I don't see them every day. This is one example, but how you have to rewrite this sentence is, if I lived with my parents, I would see them every day. Look at the if clause and the main clause. In the first clause, you can see here, if I lived with my parents, and here in the main clause you can see I'd see them every day. This is one example. On the basis of the same example, now you are going to rewrite other sentences. Are you all ready? Yes, very good. Look at the first one. Okay, they don't live far from work, so they don't use public transport. How do you change it as we just did in the example? Please, everyone, let's try. Very good. I hope you have made, in the same ways. If they lived, look at here. Here is live. They don't live far from work, right? So, you change here in the if clause, if they lived far from work, and here in the main clause, what can you see there? They would use public transport. Okay, if they lived far from work, they would use public transport. This is the very first example. Now look at the second one. Let's do it quickly, everybody. It isn't sunny outside. Okay, it isn't sunny outside, and so children will not go for a walk. So how do you change it? Let's try. Very good. Okay. You might have done the same. Okay. If it was, let's see, if it was sunny outside, children would go for a walk, right? If it was, look at here. Okay, this is verb 2, conditional second. If it was sunny outside, and in the main clause, children would go for a walk. Very good. You have also done. Okay, number B. Now let's see number C. My mother doesn't have time. Let's see, my mother doesn't have time in the if condition or if clause. So, she will not cook dinner. Now, how do you change it? Okay, as we did in A and B. All right. Now you have to make, okay, verb to there. My mother doesn't have time. So how do you? Okay. If my mother had time. Okay. If my mother had time, and in the main clause, she would cook dinner. Okay. If my mother had time, she would cook dinner. All right. Now let us look at number D. I don't have a toothache, so I'll not go to the dentist. Let's see. How do you now change the first part? Okay. I don't have a toothache. Right. यसलाई verb to बनाउनु पर्यो. I don't have a toothache. How do you do it? Try everybody. Very good. So if I had a toothache, okay, if I had a toothache, I would go to the dentist, right? So there is had. If I had a toothache in the first part, if clause, and in the main clause, I would go to the dentist. Good. Let's go to number E. He doesn't have free time, so he will not visit me. How do you change this one? Okay, in the first, let's say the if clause, there is he doesn't have free time. So if he, guess what? If he, that have should be changed into verb to. So you change that. If he had free time. Okay, if he had free time, then he will should be changed into word. Okay, he would visit me. Guess. Okay, if he had free time, he would visit me. Right. Now let's check the another one. All right, what can you see there? I don't have a special skill for this job, so I will not get it. Okay, now you have to change firstly the, let's make if clause. I don't have a special skill for this job. Let's try. If I have should be changed into, now verb to had. If I had a special skill for this job. So what do? I will should be changed into now word. Okay, I'd get it. Let's check. Okay, if I had a special skill for this job, I'd get it. These are some of the sentences, okay, as we learned in our previous lesson. Well, so what are we going to do today? As I mentioned you earlier, we are going to, let's say, develop a story with the help of outlines, right? Okay. But before we begin, let's observe a story there, okay? And we'll talk about what are the parts of the story quickly. Let's see. There is a short and interesting story, The Lion's Share. Have you read this story? Might be, okay? You might have read this story, The Lion's Share. How many parts can you see there in the story? Can you guess? Very good. You can see three main parts there, okay? Look at the first part, okay? What is this part called? The first part. Once a bear, a wolf, and a fox went hunting under the leadership of a lion. Very soon they caught and killed a buffalo. The fox divided the buffalo into 4 parts. The animals were eagerly waiting to eat their shares. Guess what is this part? Very good. This part is called the beginning of the story, right? Now let's look at the second part, okay? Just then the lion roared, "Keep away from the prey and listen to me. I claim one part of the prey because I was your partner in hunting. I claim second part because I was your leader. I claim a third part because I want it for my cubs. If anyone wants the fourth part, come on, fight me and have it. Look at this interesting part, okay? This is called the middle of the story. And let's see the last part, okay? This last part is the ending of the story. What can you see there? The bear, the wolf, and the fox led the lion, have all the 4 parts of the prey, and walked away quietly. Right? Okay, so these are 3 major parts. And there are something more. What can you see? Okay, what is the moral? Yeah, there is also the moral of the story, that is, might is right. You know, jasko shakti, usko bhakti, right? Here the lion is the power, you know, mighty one. And you also can see the title, The Lion's Share. This is the title of the story. Got the point, everybody? Okay, while developing the story, we have to get to know these basic parts firstly. Well, very good. Now, today what we are going to do is, we are going to develop a story with the help of the outlines. But what is outlines? Okay, let us have a little talk on what outlines it. See, the outline describes a sequence. Let's see, a sequence of events with characters in the form of points or short phrases. Okay, how the events are developed, okay, in an order, in a sequence. Okay, that is what we call outlines. I hope, okay, you are clear. So, how to develop a story? Okay, we are going to develop a story, but how? Okay, how we can develop a very, yes, good story? Are you interested to, yes, learn how we develop a story? I hope yes, all of you are excited, okay, to learn, okay, how we can write interesting stories. Let's see, let's get some of the ideas there, okay. If we are writing a story, now what is to be done? Number 1, what is written there? Read the outline of the story carefully and understand what the story is all about. Yes. If you are not clear about the outline of the story, you will not be able to develop a good story. So that, first of all, you have to read the outline and understand carefully, okay, what this story is about. And then, what is to be done? Develop the points of the outline into a complete sentence. Okay, you have to write the complete sentence out of that outlines there. Short and complete sentence. And then, please follow the outline of the story. Okay, how we follow? What we do? Follow the sequence in which the points are given. Okay, as we discussed what to write in the beginning part. Okay, these points form the series of events in the story. And then do not omit any part of the outline. Okay, let us not avoid any part of the story. Neither what happens? The events breaks down, okay, the chain of sequence breaks down there. So let's not omit any part of the story. And what next? Do not include unnecessary or unrelated events that may change the story completely, and it might not give sense. It might not be the interesting story, okay? So that we have to follow these basic things. Okay, let's see some more. Every story has, as we discussed, beginning, middle, and ending. We need to include details to make the story interesting and enjoyable to read. Okay, and write the story in the past tense. Always, everyone, keep in your mind, we have to write the story in past tense, even if the outlines may be provided in the present tense. We have to write it in the past tense. Ekadesma. Okay? Okay? Somebody lived somewhere in a ... Okay? You use there the past tense there. Okay. Next, what do you see? Introduce dialogue or conversation to make the story more engaging, more lively. Okay? And what we have to do? Look at. Use direct speech when introducing these conversations. For example, let's see how we use, the direct speech. Young mouse stood up and said, "The best thing we can do is to tie a bell round the cat's neck." See, it is kept in inverted comma, right? The speech said by one of the character in the story. And let's see indirect speech. No one came forward to say that he would. This is the indirect speech. To make the story lively, we have to use this sort of thing often in the story. Okay. Let's see. To the title that is related to the main character or the events of the story. Okay. We have to choose a title which is related to the main character of the story. And then, let's see, write the title in the title casing, in which the main words begin with the capital letters. Okay? We have to pay attention when writing later on. And next, avoid the use of quotation marks or punctuation marks in the title. Now, let's develop a story. You have got some ideas, how to develop a story. Are you all ready with your pen? Okay? And the outlines given you in your textbook, everybody? I hope you all are ready with the outline. Let's see the outlines, okay, given in our textbook. Please, everybody, you all can see these outlines firstly. Okay, as we already discussed, okay, we have to get to know the clear idea about the story from this outline. Okay, write a short story on the basis of the following outlines. Let's see. First of all, we have to get the idea from here. The mice, very unhappy. Look at here, how it starts. The mice very unhappy. The cat killed many of them. Look at the counterpart in the story. Okay, who is the counterpart of mice? Cat. Okay, the cat killed many mice of them. Held a meeting to discuss how to get rid of the cat. Then they held a meeting, okay, to discuss how to get rid of the cat. Now, various suggestions, okay. They discussed and they had various suggestions, but no plan practicable, okay. No plan worked at all. Then, a young mouse suggested that a bell should be tied round the cat's neck. Look, this was the plan of a young mouse. All welcomed, all welcomed this idea, the proposal with joy. Wow, that's the interesting idea, okay? And old mouse stood up, okay, and asked, who was going to tie the bell round the cat's neck? I guess. Now, you got to know, how the story, yes, it starts, okay, how it develops in the middle, and look at the ending part, okay, how the story ends. I hope all of you are clear about the sequence of the events given in the outlines, okay? If so, now, before we begin writing the story, let us talk a bit what kinds of language are much often used? Well, developing a story. Okay, I'm going to help you some of the languages, okay, that we can most often used while developing a story, so that you can write it better. Okay, let's just get some ideas. Okay, story writing. Okay, story writing. All right. So, what is the very common language that we use when writing a story? Okay, we start story especially with what? Once upon a time. Look. Okay. Once upon a time, okay, there was. There was. Look at. Once upon a time, there was. And other, what do we do? Look at. We use there. Who. Okay. Who. And then again we use one day. Some of the language that we use. Okay. One day. Yes. And what else we use? At first. At first. Okay. And what other language do we use? Then. We use then. Then you use finally one morning. Okay. We use finally one morning. Let's say something happened there. Okay. Finally one morning. Okay. We learn from the story that, okay, in the ending part we learn from the story. We learn from the story that. Look at. Okay. These are some of the, let's say, the most often used expression in the story. Once upon a time there was what? A man, a woman, okay, whatever. Who was, all right, we use one day. Something happened there. At first, what happened? Okay, then finally one morning we learn from the story that. Look at, these are the what? The expression that we often use while developing a story. Are you all ready now to begin the story? Very good. Now, all of you are ready to begin the story. Let's see how we start the beginning part of this, let's say, the outline. See, once upon a time, let's begin everybody together. Once upon a time, there was. Did you get? Once upon a time, there was. What was there? There was a small village with houses made of mud. Did you get? Once upon a time, there was a small village with houses made of mud. Hundreds of mice lived in these houses. Okay. Look at here, the use of the tense, okay, past tense. Hundreds of mice lived in these houses. These mice jumped here and there. Okay, these mice jumped here and there. Look at this jumped. Okay, these mice jumped here and there. And what they used to do? They used to enjoy the whole day without fear. Look, they were having a perfect time, okay, in that village. One day, did you see the use of one day? One day a cat came in that area to live and started eating one mouse every day. Did you notice this language. One day, a cat came in that area to live and started eating one mouse every day. The mice were very unhappy. Okay, the cat killed, look at here, the cat killed so many of them that they were all in great fear, terror. Okay, what is this? This is the beginning of the story from our outline. Are you also writing together? Very good. Okay. Now, how we develop? Okay, what happens then? Let's see in the middle part. At last, they held a meeting to discuss how they could get rid of the nasty cat. Okay? They decided to have a meeting, okay, to get rid of that nasty cat. Look at the word here, held. Okay. One mouse said this. Look at the use of direct speech here, okay, how it is used there. One mouse said this, another said that, but none of the plan was of any use. Okay, that is given there in the, let's say, outlines there, okay. No plan practicable. Okay, so you can see there, all right. So none of the plan was of any use. Then a young mouse stood up and said, look at the use of direct speech there. The best thing we can do is to tie a bell round the cat's neck. Look at, this is the idea made by a young mouse. Then when the cat comes, we will hear the bell and get out of the way. All the mice shouted, good, admirable, simple and easy. They all thought it was very good plan indeed. See, okay, how the sentences, okay, the outlines are developed there. The use of, let's say, the past tense and the use of, okay, direct speech there, yes. Now, let's see now, okay, the ending part of the story. What happens then? But now an old mouse, okay, who had all the while been listening to the proposal, quietly stood up and said, yes, it is a very good plan, no doubt. But who will tie the bell round the cat's neck? No one came forward to say that he would. Look at, my dear students. Okay, here you can see the use of indirect speech as well. Okay, okay, no one came forward to say that he would. This is how we can write now the ending part of the story. After writing this story, now let's see what's the moral. We also see there, we can find the moral. You might have guessed there, what is the moral? Okay, it's no use planning unless and until we put things into practice. Or you can also say, easier said than done. भन्न सजिलो हुन्छ तर गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ. Okay, easier said than done. Yes, this is a complete story that we have developed out of the outlines. Hope all of you are doing together. Now let's see the complete part, everybody. Look at, okay, this is the complete story given there. All right, you can see the title, okay, Who Will Bell the Cat? And let's revise once for you all. Once upon a time, there was a small village with houses made of mud. Hundreds of mice lived, look at, in these houses. These mice jumped here and there. They used to enjoy the whole day without fear. One day, a cat came in that area to live and started eating one mouse every day. The mice were very unhappy. The cat killed so many of them that they were all in great fear. Okay. Now let's see. At last, they held a meeting to discuss how they could get rid of the nasty cat. One mouse said this, another said that, but none of the plan was of any use. Then a young mouse stood up and said, "The best thing we can do is to tie a bell round the cat's neck. Then when the cat comes, we will hear the bell and get out of the way." All the mice shouted, "Good, admirable, simple, easy." They all thought it was a very good plan indeed. Okay, but now an old mouse, who had all the while been listening to the proposals quietly, stood up and said, "Yes, it is a very good plan, no doubt. But who will tie the bell round the cat's neck?" No one came forward to say that he would. In this way, we have developed an interesting story with the help of the outlines using what tense? Past tense. Look at the highlighted words there. These all highlighted words are the use of the past tense. Okay, everybody, you can see here the moral as well. Okay, it's no use planning unless and until we put things into practice. Okay, I hope all of you have written together, yes, with me. Okay, this is what we have done. Right. So, my dear students, what did we learn today? Okay, what did we learn? Let's talk a bit. We got to know, okay, the outlines, okay, which describes the sequence of the events with characters in the form of poems or what? Short phrases. Okay, what outlines is? We discussed about these things before writing a story. And what did we discuss next? We learned to develop the story from an outline, and we discussed here, okay, we have to follow the sequence in which the points are given, which is to be written in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end of the story. And then we also learned to write the story in the past tense, even if the outlines which may be in the present tense in the outline part. Okay, and after completing the story, we have to choose a title that is related to the main characters or the events of the story. Okay, and also after the title, we also have to write the moral of the story. Yes, this is what we learned, how to, okay, write a story. But what you have to do? You have to review your story for any grammatical or spelling error after completing the story. Yes, my dear students, I hope you have got easy way of developing a story with the help of outlines, and this is a home assignment for you all. Okay, look at the outlines. Okay, you might have already read somewhere in your books, okay, or you might have heard it. This is all about what? 4 cows lived in a jungle. Okay, and fast friends, always together, lived in a peace, fought the enemy unitedly. A tiger had an eye, not dare to attack as they were united. Cows fell out when separately the tiger, the opportunity, killed the cows, ate them. Right. These outlines will help you to develop the story. Hope in the next lesson, before we begin, I would get chance to listen your beautiful story developed out of this outline. So with this, we have come to the end of our class for today. I hope all of you have best understood how to develop a story. We'll meet again in the upcoming session. Thank you so very much for your wonderful participation. See you. Take care. Bye bye.